comes Spider. I'm back from Halifax, Nova Scotia. The Spider's back for part 19, but first, please watch part 1. Okay, part 2 and part 3. Part 1, my intro and how I come up with my CFL Red-Zone Rule. Part 2, the presentation itself that I made to the commissioner of the CFL and the CFL on January 31st, 2018, and the part 3, that was part 2, part 3, their decision and conclusion of that presentation I made on part 3. And then now, of course, and then please, when you have time, please watch part 4 now right up to part 19, sorry. There was a 13/14, 2 and 1, so it's really my 18th, but this one's, it's called part 19. And I'll have a part 20, but I'm not going to do that sequel. And that was going to basically be a live version of my, shorter version of my SPYDER CFL Red-Zone Rule song. Okay?
Spider, here comes Spider, CFL's Red-Zone Rule. Hit it! Spider, here comes Spider, CFL's Red-Zone Rule. Hit it! CFL's Red-Zone Rule.
Yes, this is something my son and I have been working on. It's not official yet. This is my Facebook page that we're still working on, and it's not quite ready yet, but it's going to be awesome, okay? It's going to be awesome, 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 awesome. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a short version I did. This is going to be awesome. My 10 super features and benefits are on it. It's a picture of Steve Armitage and I, okay? My CFL Red-Zone Rule at the that's the banner in front of the monitor. That's the song, the short version of the song. On the Dropbox we put on, and all the YouTube sessions are going to be there, and all the new ones added. Okay, there's the field diagram, the banner. Okay, it's going to be awesome, man. Really. Also put up. I don't know where that went. Disappeared on me. There we go. Okay, there's Levi Mitchell, my CFL Red-Zone Rule hat at the CFL game in Calgary, and then my hat. Okay, Spider's proposed new now. It's Spider CFL Red-Zone Rule hats at the Bombers Calgary Stampeder Western Final. So there's going to be all kinds of interesting things on there, and going to keep adding to it, and it's super exciting. So I can't wait till we get it finalized, and I'll hopefully have it on my 20th, which will finally be my last one until the spring, or unless something really, really exciting comes up that I'll have to announce. But I want to get the Facebook page up so then I can start my radio blitz with the last part of that, what you just heard. That little part of my CFL Red-Zone Rule song will be my intro to my radio blitz, and I'm going to go right across Canada blitzing my CFL Red-Zone Rule. And you're gonna hear me. You're gonna hear a lot from the Spider and Spider CFL Red-Zone Rule, and when we officially launch the Facebook page. So, hey, look out! Okay, Spider, here comes Spiders. CFL Red-Zone Rule. Look out, CFL, Mr. Ambrosi. Okay, so I'm basically going to be very casual with you today. We have a full 27 minutes, okay? This is going to be basically the Canadian ratio debate again, opinion and fact, and then the Atlantic Schooner update on the stadium, so forth, okay? So there was a thing on the Canadian ratio being reduced from 7 to 5. I think I spoke of that earlier, I believe, and there was a lot of debate on it and many comments made, okay? This was first posted on 3 Down Nation, okay? And then there are people saying get rid of it entirely, mini, or reduce it to 3. But a lot of people, you know, anybody with a real, you know, and most people in Canada that have a sports brain, you know, they want to see the best players play in the CFL, and they want, if they're Canadian, if they don't want to play in the NFL, because I'll talk about the combine, the problem with that, and they really want to play in the CFL, then you know what, earn your spot, your roster spot, and make a CFL team. Don't just be handed automatically because of a Canadian ratio, and they're controlling, dictating, handcuffing Canadian starter ratio and huge guaranteed Canadian roster ratio. That's ludicrous, okay? And that's what's really killing the product on the field in the CFL, because in too many cases they have no business being on a CFL field. You can't have a professional football league. You can have an amateur football league, but not a professional football league run like that. And you can't have the CFL being run by basically carefully selected Canadian linemen, guaranteed Canadian ratio linemen, okay, that are basically controlling who plays in the CFL, starts and plays in the CFL with their basically Canadian Players Association. That's another thing that has to be really, that's really hurting the CFL, and that has to change. That can't be allowed anymore. They can't run the CFL. And it's like, I'll tell you what's interesting about this. Rick Campbell, coach of the Ottawa Red Blacks, when he was asked about the reduction of the Canadian starter ratio, he said it like, come on. You know, he said, look, there's 20 plus and counting Canadian players now playing in the CFL, top Canadian players playing in the CFL. Playing in the NFL. Sorry, not in the CFL, he said. How does that help the CFL? Well, it doesn't. That's what he was saying. I mean, GMs and coaches, I mean, they struggle like you wouldn't believe, juggling the Canadian ratio. I mean, and starting Canadian and finding enough quality players to start, and in so many cases they're not good enough to start, and not good enough to even be on the CFL roster, or even good enough to be in a practice roster, and they're starting in the CFL. This is the problem, and the GMs, and they're leaving, and offensive lineman coaches are leaving, like the Red Blacks coaches, they're getting fed up with this crap, really, truly. I mean, look, if you want to be an amateur football league, the CFL, be an amateur football league and have all Canadian players playing it and have 1,000 people in the stands. Okay, and by the way, for those but very biased, you know, bully type Canadian ratio blockers out there, and you're the minority, then if you're so right about the Canadian starter ratio, that you want to keep shoving down our throats that the CFL, Mr. Ambrosi is covering up on, they won't even take questions on or even talk about, then why aren't you filling all the empty seats in the CFL? Okay? If you're so right and you're the majority, you know, you're not the majority. You're a small minority, and it's like my son said, the CFL would gain way more fans they'd ever lose if they allowed the best available players to be recruited by the GMs and the coaches, the CFL coaches, and allow them to play, start and play the best available players, okay, at every position for entire CFL game, like the NHL can, like the NFL can, like Major League Baseball can, like NBA can, and like, yes, even MLS soccer can. So get with the program, the CFL, Mr. Ambrosi, get with the program, because the current structure is not working, and the Canadian ratio is hurting the CFL, you know, not enhancing the CFL, it's hurting the product in the field and diluting it, like, terribly. And hey, you know, look what you get, look what you see. It's obvious what you see. It's blatant. It's right there. Look at the poor quality of play on the field. Okay, and you got to have, like, let's talk CFL said. They said it right the other day. Look, the CFL's got to be able to find and recruit and to be allowed to find the best quality players, okay, to play in the CFL at every position. They said get rid of the Canadian ratio, to get rid of it. It's killing our CFL three-down game and watering it down, and Canadian players that are just handed their starting and roster spots. And they're making a fool and not mockery again out of our 3-down game in the CFL, like in the combine. Okay? I mean, if they want to grow, like Let's Talk CFL said, the fan base and stay in business. Look, Montreal look like they're folding. That's why. That's why. Then they have to allow the best available players. Let's Talk CFL said they got to get rid of the Canadian starter ratio. Okay? And in the combine, listen to this, 8 of the 10, this is the recent CFL combine, 8 of the 10 top Canadian prospects, okay, didn't even show up. The top Canadian prospects didn't show up. And there were a couple Canadian receivers finally this time around, because for the last 5 or 10 years they've been non-existent. But they want to pursue the NFL, okay? And there was the quarterback, O'Connor, he wants to pursue the NFL. He's a Canadian, right? So much Ambrosi for your, guaranteed Canadian starting ratio spot for a Canadian quarterback out of the 7. So much for that theory, Mr. Ambrosi. He wants to go to the NFL, O'Connor. He wants to go to the NFL, just like Briggs tried to go. Okay? Listen, if a Canadian quarterback wants to play in the CFL, not the NFL, they have to make the roster and make a starting quarterback position. And so does all the other Canadian players that want to play in the CFL, not the NFL. And they have to prove they're good enough to be on a CFL roster. And if they're not, if they have potential, put them on a roster. A practice roster, and have them develop into a roster spot or a starting spot in the CFL. That's what has to be done in the CFL. And if that doesn't change, if that's not done, they're in serious, serious trouble, the CFL, with XFL coming in, taking our coaches, and the Alliance Football League, they're going to stay, everything thinks they're going down, the NFL is going to bail them out, and they're in even deeper trouble, because the American players are getting pissed off with this Canadian ratio, man, and it's going to destroy the CFL, and Montreal may fold. The CFL may fold if they don't smarten up and get rid of the Canadian starter ratio, and bring in a real rule this time, not more challenge flags that you're adding, and come on, bring in a real rule that's going to make our CFL 3-down game itself better and more entertaining and more exciting brand of CFL 3-down football to watch. It's going to attract more CFL fans, which is exactly what my CFL Red-Zone Rule will do. Not only what it will do, look at the 10 powerful, compelling super features of my CFL Red-Zone Rule. Can you imagine? The Saskatchewan Roughriders, 2018, 37.5% percentage of average touchdown scored in the red zone, the lowest. Can you imagine? And an average under 55% for amongst 9 CFL teams. Not good enough, man. It doesn't sell CFL 3-down football. But with my CFL Red Zone Rule, what it will do, eliminate all the second down, ugly second down, boring, unappealing second down stops in the red zone completely, and eliminate all the boring, non-eventful, predictable, distasteful, easy chip shot field goals in the red zone, or slightly outside depending on the second down stop was made in the red zone. That's what my CFL Red Zone Rule will do. And in replace it, you'll get more touchdowns scored in the red zone. And the 10 powerful features and benefits, what it will do is unbelievable. And if they're stopped and not forced outside the red zone on 3rd down, trying to score a touchdown with my CFL Red Zone Rule, they get rewarded for getting in the red zone and staying in the red zone on 3rd down, maintaining possession of the ball, and they get rewarded with a CFL Red Zone kick, but a real challenging kick, not a little chip chop from the 35. You add the 7th from the 42. Man, would that be an exciting kick? Spider CFL Red Zone kick, which it's a big feature. It really complements. It works, unbelievably well, and it's really compatible with my CFL Red Zone Rule, and it really adds a lot to it to solidify it. It's a big part of my CFL Red Zone Rule as well. But what my CFL Red Zone Rule will do and features and benefits, check it out. I have it. Actually, I did a session on that, my YouTube session as well. Check that out, and I'm going to have it up on my Facebook too. 10 of the most powerful, and there's 20, but I just put up the 10, and I go over the 10 in one of my YouTube sessions. So, that's what has to happen. Because the CFL needs to attract the younger generation fan, and that's what my CFL Red Zone will do, and it'll do a lot more. Like Steve Arms said, it will do do it all. Okay, so let me just check to see, because we're moving along here. Check to see what I covered. Okay, and also in Brandy 2.0, the European players, and they had his Mexico combine. They didn't show very well. But I'll tell you something. Whatever, if Mr. Ambrosi proves me wrong, but I don't think he will, because he was one of them. He was a guaranteed Canadian racial lineman. He was on the Canadian Players Association, like I said before, a couple times before, that he actually fought the CFL in court because they want to remove the Canadian starter ratio and be like every other professional sports league to allow the best available players to start and play in the CFL. And he went in to stop them. So, there's definitely a conflict of interest there, and he's definitely on with keeping who's the president, a guaranteed Canadian racial lineman who was grossly overpaid and terribly overrated. He's the president, and there's more of them in there. Canadian linemen basically running the Canadian Players Association and running the CFL. And Ambrosi, like I said, he's more a commissioner for them than the CFL, and that's the problem. He's in bed with them, and like, you know what? Like I said, the owners, what you got to do is you got to shut them down, okay? And this Canadian starter ratio, you can't go from 7 to 5. They're going to end up with 6. That's a joke. That's what Glenn Souther said. It's got to be the Canadian starter ratio has got to be eliminated, and my CFL Red-Zone Rule got to be made part of a CFL 3-down game. And like I said, my 6-fix, other changes got to be made. Then you got a product to sell, okay? And with Atlantic Schooners, if they come in, I'm going to talk about that. Come on. This Canadian starter ratio, it's going to, listen, the CFL product's going to keep being, going downhill. It's going to keep getting worse and going to be more watered down and diluted with the talent pool with another team. 9 teams is too many. They got to get rid of the Canadian starter ratio. This is just unbelievable. Come on. You want to be a player, a real professional football league, or you want to be, like I said, a little amateur football league, CFL that only plays Canadian players, okay? That's what you biased, bully Canadian racial blockers want. Well, that's what you're going to get if something doesn't change. The CFL is going to fold. There's no doubt about it. It's going to fold. Okay? All right, so I went over just going over some of the things to make sure that so I guess I'm down to anything that I missed, okay? I summarized it pretty good. One other thing on the Let's Talk CFL, and true, they were about the Canadian ratio. They were really made a good point, and they were saying, well, what starting ratio? He said, what does the CFL do? And which they said they do, because Chris Jones got caught in BC a year ago or so. He didn't have enough Canadian starters on the field playing, because you got to play him for every minute of the game. So what Let's Talk CFL said, what they do, watch the videotape over and over and over every minute of the game to see if the coaches are playing 7 Canadian starters. That's what they do. Can you imagine? That's insane. That's unbelievable. It's hard to believe, man. It's hard to, and they said this is bizarre. They said it's crazy. It's ludicrous. Okay? So, they said get rid of the Canadian starter ratio to allow the best and most talented and qualified football players, okay, from every walk of life. Like I said, it doesn't matter who they are and what part of the world, okay, as long as they're the best players and quality players. So the CFL can improve their brand of CFL football on the field with the best available players, and also grow their football league and attract a lot more fans. And that's exactly what my CFL Red-Zone Rule will do as well. So it's a combo they need, like I said. Spiders combo. So now let's, another thing too, I wanted to mention that on every second friggin' topic on Let's Talks, not Let's Talks, but 3 Down Nation is this Canadian player prospects going to the NFL or pro days. They have all their NFL agents there trying to get in the NFL and going to NFL camps. It's unbelievable. And nothing is said anything about it. Nothing has said anything about what's wrong with the CFL structure and the Canadian ratio and the basic Canadian Players Association that's basically run the CFL. Nothing said. In Brosie's in the CFL, it's a big cover-up. Not a word said. Not a word. It's unbelievable. Here, you imagine, you know, all the top Canadian prospects, all want to go to the NFL with their agents, right? They're all going down to the NFL and all being scouted at the NFL scouts at the pro days and so forth. It's unbelievable. You don't even show up the combine. They don't want to play in the CFL. They want to play in the NFL. You got to get rid of the Canadian starter ratio, man. And the Canadian roster ratio, guaranteed Canadian roster ratio, has got to be abolished too, or eliminated, or dramatically reduced to like 3, like, you know, like MLS soccer, okay? Or you're going down. You're in big trouble, the CFL. You're in big trouble. Touchdown Atlantic, location in Dartmouth. We got some minutes to talk about this, okay? Okay. I sent 4 invitations to that, okay? Just talk about this just quickly here. And there was a report done by the Chronicle Herald writer. He was on Sports Case last night. He said he was over there. I applied 4 times, didn't get an invitation, right? So I'm sure, Ambrosie, you had something to do with that because you didn't want me there, my CFL Red-Zone Rule hat and my banner. And I may have taken my megaphone over there and had some guys go over me with a banner, and we would have really made a splash, and we would have had everybody interested in my CFL Red-Zone Rule. Not your Randy Ambrosie 2.0, okay? 2.0 I call it. I think that's what he calls it too. But anyway, so, okay, so Ambrosie, I'm sure he had something to do with that, because the writer for the Chronicle Herald said there was like 250 seats and there was only about 180 filled. So they all, I saw it too when I watched it back, all these empty seats. So thanks a lot, Ambrosie, but guess what? You think my CFL Red-Zone Rule, I've gone away? You wait, I'm just getting started, man. I'm going to be everywhere. Wait, you're gonna see me and hear me. And you're gonna crumble. I tell you, you're gonna crunch because you're gonna be embarrassed. But I'm gonna get my CFL Red-Zone Rule out there, and every sports fan in Canada is gonna find out about this. And we're gonna hopefully make this happen at a CFL game live this year, and have in the red zone when you see another boring second down stop resulting in an easy chip shot field goal, thousands of CFL fans chanting loud, "We want Spiders CFL Red-Zone Rule." That's my ultimate goal, and that's what we can do together. We'll make this happen, and we can make Spiders CFL Red-Zone Rule part of our CFL 3-down game. That's needed desperately. Okay, along with the Canadian starter ratio to be eliminated to allow the best available players to start and play in the CFL. Okay, like every other professional sports league can do. Okay, so let's get into what was going on over there with the stadium thing, because that was what it was a lot about. Well, they showed, I don't know if I can get it up on here, they showed, as I'm trying to find it, they showed renderings of it, okay? It's very Mickey Mouse, very Mickey Mouse. It's all scaled back from 170, 190 to 130, barely 130. It's in Shannon Park. They have signed a letter of intent to buy that 8 acres of land, or 15 acres of land, sorry. So it's a Mickey Mouse. It's a real Mickey Mouse type stadium. Really is. I don't know if I can find it on here or not. I'm trying to. I'm probably gonna have to go to 3 down to find it. You got to find everything there. So basically, they want to propose a 12,000 seat community stadium on one side, and this Mickey Mouse makeup type stadium on the other side that they can bring it up to 22,000 to host the CFL games, or to actually get a franchise, CFL franchise. So that's basically it in a nutshell. I'm trying to find it on here, and it's So the other side is basically like the Moncton side. It's really like, it's like there's not even permanent washrooms or anything. It's just like a like structure, just with posts and stands. You know, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's basically one side with an upper deck. It's only 12,000 seats over there. I don't know. The questions are, what about the skyboxes? How are you ever going to run a CFL franchise without skyboxes? Where are they going to be? With a community stadium? You know, they're not going to be able to sell that to them on that portion, put skyboxes, because they'll say, we don't need that for a community stadium. So I don't know what they're doing. I really don't know what's going on here. I don't understand it. It's really, really Mickey Mouse. Really is. And it's an embarrassment. It'll never be able to stage a Grey Cup game. Never. It's really an embarrassment. I'm embarrassed to be a Haligonian. Seriously and truly, it's brutal. It's brutal. Okay, I'm still trying to find it. I don't know why I can't find it, but I'm coming to my end. I only got a couple minutes left, but sorry about that. Here it is. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to blow it up more. Yeah, it's there. There it is there. Okay, do you see that? No, okay, maybe that way, that angle. The light's not so bad. But that's pretty Mickey Mouse, okay? You can see the community side and there's an upper deck on that side, so I guess there'd be permanent washrooms in there. I don't know what the amenities will be. There'll be no amenities on the other side. They probably have the portable washrooms. I don't know if that's going to be a permanent structure, or I don't know how they're going to have a rollout or a makeshift. I don't know what they're doing, but it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment, really and truly. There it is. So I don't know what else I got on here, because I haven't got much time left, but it really went fast. I can't believe it, because yeah, so I covered that. So they're saying that they're going to pay for the makeshift side, whatever it is, up to $10,000. The Schooners Sports and Entertainment Group, they're going to cover that cost, and the city, they want the city, the province, and they're trying to get fed money for the other side. So I guess Touchdown Atlantic's in Moncton. They talk about that, and if they get this approved, the stadium, they're going to be playing two seasons in Moncton. I guess that'd be unbelievable. That's a good way to you know, have a CFL franchise in Halifax.